Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister of the State of Israel.
I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been. Hanging on the promises and the songs of yesterday, and I've made up my mind. I am wasting no more time, but here I go again. Here I go again. Though I keep searching for an answer, I never seem to find what I'm looking for. Oh Lord, I pray you give me strength to carry on, 'cause I know what it means. Walk along the lonely street of dreams, and here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter I was born to walk alone, and I made up my mind. I am wasting no time. I'm just another
Isn't that how it goes? Tell me, you guys, can you hear me? Can you see me even? I had so many technical difficulties. Shanda's probably laughing her ass off. I've got to tell you. Oh my God. Can you hear me, guys? I think you can. I've got a lag on this one studio. I think I even mentioned it in the rundown. I'm as rusty as a penny at the bottom of the Crater Lake in Oregon. I got to tell you. How is the sound, Brom? Is it okay? Is it too loud? Is it too low? I'm not hearing anything in the ears, but oh yeah, great. Hey, you guys are a sight for sore eyes. Jan Budessa, thank you so much. It's very kind of you. I'm going to try and look at the screen. Usually I'm engineering, so I'm looking off to the left side of the camera, and I'm going to try and avoid that. I had audio issues. I couldn't get the sound to work, and then I couldn't get my chroma key to work, and it's still kind of jacked up. I've got a splotch on my head, so I promise I will fix that in the future. But anyway, enough of my whining. I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for showing up. And I want to shout you out really quick because it's been so long, and I really miss this tradition. Kamshwari Kate, first in the door. Great to see you. And you were probably here at earlier than 6:51, Kate. And Kate, I got to tell you again, from the bottom of my heart, that was one of the sweetest, kindest sympathy cards I've ever got in my life. So thank you so much. Red Angel, good to see you. AM 22114, good to see you. Lee Argent, wonderful to see you. Popeye, what's going on? And there's Jan Budissa. Am I pronouncing that right? Oh, I think I am. Lady Alex, what's going on? Let me see. Let me get down the line to get here. Lee Argent, Jilly Love. I'm trying to get a... Lady Alex, what's going on, Lady Alex? Did you change your handle there? I see some numbers after it, or I'm just losing my mind, which is probably the case. Let me see. Who else do I have in here? I've got Barb Sue. What's going on, Barb? Good to see you. And DSMCNCNESTR Oz. What's going on? And there's the Red Angel again. Hi, gang. Back. And this one's for you, Shanda. Absolutely. And all of them going into the future are going to be for Shanda. I've got to tell you guys, my camera's a little out of whack here. I feel like she's sitting right beside me still, and I hope I keep that feeling for the rest of my life. Carlin, good to see you. Truth, Violet, Scum, I can't see this. Community Guidelines 319, good to see you. Let me see, let me get down the line here. I want to make sure I get everybody out. There's Brom again. What's going on? Rocking out. I think that intro was a little bit loud, I gotta say. Kelly Lane, wonderful to see you. Thank you for all your support, Kelly. And let's do chat when you do have time. Dr. Nick Rivera, how you doing? PhD. And I said that backwards. Isn't that special? DC8828, great to see you too. I hope I'm not pulling you guys away from anything exciting tonight. I just wanted to come in and give you an update on how I was doing, and I am doing okay. I'm still dealing with the cancer. It's prostate cancer. It's still in the stage of we're going to keep an eye on it and see if it starts barking at you, which is great news. Respinado, good to see you. I know some of you have changed your nicknames, and I apologize if I'm not up on them like I should be. But I've been kind of trying to heal up a little bit and, going through grief, as you can all know, and some of you still are. Many of you are, at least our friends here are, I know for sure. It's been a rough 2026. I lost my beautiful Dharma, same month that I lost Shanda, our beautiful Shanda, and it's been tough. But I've got her hoodie on here, and I forgot to put the link in the rundown, and I apologize. I will do it post. Indy, if you're still in here, if you could drop the link to the store. Great quality merchandise, and good people to deal with. They're really efficient. Had a little trouble with one of my orders, and they got right on it. Ryan did a fantastic job, and thank you, Indy, for doing that. But I went to, they've got these data centers, as you guys know, and they have lithium ion power stations, which are horrible, especially the one they're trying to put in my town. And long story short, I made a promise to myself anytime I go to do any activism, I'm going to do my best to have Shanda with me right here because I know she's there with me anyway. So again, it's just great to have her, and it's a wonderful. I'm honored to have her with me in my heart, on my heart, everywhere I go. What's going on? What's going on? I am always trying to do things. I see I'm kind of speckling out here with the chroma key. I'll try and adjust that. Fair Use says, of course, I'm not going to do a huge show tonight. I just wanted to go through the motions and see if I still can do a show even. I'm a little bit long in the tooth and rust in the bucket, as I mentioned before, but I miss doing these, and I haven't done a solo show in years. I did a couple of solo shows back before Shanda and I got together, and I just found that I just enjoyed doing them with a partner, and that's what I wanted to get to out of the gate, so you guys know kind of what's going on. I've been talking to a wonderful, wonderful lady about coming in and doing a show with me, and she was very upfront. She goes, you know, Oz, I don't intend or nor could I ever fill Shanda's shoes, but I would love to do a show with you and be your partner going forward, and it will be our show, I told her, and it's not going to be Beauty and the Boomer, and we have a working title which we will reveal on the 11th of July, when I can introduce this wonderful person that's stepped up to the plate to not only help me do a show, but help me through my grief and help me get my life back together and build some strength. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I told she's really wants to do the chat justice, and everybody in our community. She really hopes that she can do a decent job for you. And again, she knows she's not going to replace Shanda. Nobody ever could, but she's going to be great. I think she's going to be a lot of fun. As far as the and that July 11th, by the way, Kate, is just, it's going to be an introductory kind of a show, and we'll put together a small show right here just to get it going. But we plan on doing our premiere show on the 22nd of August, and that is Oz's Don't Tell Anybody. Don't tell anybody, but that's my birthday. My real legitimate birthday is the 23rd, the next day. So the 22nd of August, we will have our premiere show. We're going to kind of do a pre-grand opening on July 11th of our show. That's what we used to call when we grand open things. And I will be introducing this fine person, and she's looking forward to it, believe me. We've already been doing some work on a few things, and I hope that you guys enjoy what we're doing. We're going to do the same format. We're not going to do a lot of the stuff as far as graphics that we did before. We're hopefully going to do some new ones. So we've got new backgrounds. You're going to see some of those tonight, some old ones. We're going to have some new segments. And like I said, it's Beauty and the Boomer is legacy now, and it's in memory of Shanda. You can watch the old ones. Believe me, I saved all the shows, and they're right in a very safe place for all eternity. So again, Shanda told me a long time ago, before she passed, that I want you to go forward with doing shows and taking care of our community, and I'm honoring her. She said, Oz, you know what to do, and I really appreciated that. So let me get in here a little bit and say hi, see if there's retro gaming. What's going on, gamer? Good to see you. Gosh, it's nice to see you guys. I am so happy to see all of you. It's very kind of you to take a little time out tonight and come in and say hi and boost my spirits. Believe me, it's really nice to have people out there that really care. And again, looking forward to July 11th, when I can introduce you to this fine lady, and we can get together and get some input, maybe some ideas, some things you guys might want to see. And of course, we're going to have the great music. A lot of it's the boomer music, you know, it's the 70s, 80s, 90s music covers. And, you know, we're going to, again, it's going to be very similar format without taking anything away from Beauty and the Boomer. We're just going to have a new show. And I guess I've made that point clear enough. Beauty and the Boomer is forever in my heart because it's been such a big part of my life. And it will stay on this channel, hopefully, unless I screw it up and crash the whole channel. But I don't think I'll do that. I will be changing the title, but Beauty and the Boomer will have the #1 spot prevalent as far as looking back and watching any shows or going and saying hi to Shanda. Oh, before I forget, I want to thank everybody for supporting Shanda's little birthday video I made. Again, that was the first song that I ever introduced Shanda to that she loved, and that's what inspired her to get into making shows. Trailer Park Pundit and Beauty and the Boomer was that song, and I thought it was apropos to remember her and that song on her birthday. So if you haven't seen it, it's for Shanda on her birthday. It's on the channel, and give it a listen to. It's not a very long tribute, but it's I've been told it's really beautiful. And thanks again. And I just can't thank you guys enough. Anyway, I'd like to go forward here so I don't keep you all night. I know you've got a lot of stuff to do, and I've got to get this thing going here. Like I said, I'm really rusty, and this fair use back here, I just threw it on here. I'll be making a new fair use, but I'm trying to put some things together. Again, I haven't done a solo show for quite a while, and let me see if I can get the sparkly stuff out of here real quick, if you'll bear with me. I don't know. Oh my gosh, I got part of it out of there. Is that better? That's a little better. I still have some of this stuff going here. No more sparkles. I better not push it before I break it. Anyway, let me, my audio is still okay, isn't it? I hope it is. Now, I'm just going to top a few of the stories from this week, but mainly I want to get the point across that we've got a coup going on in this country. And we know what country, what state is performing that coup. And they've been doing it for a long time, at least since 1948. But the real puppeteers of the planet are the international banks. You know, the Rothschilds, you know, the Rockefellers, you know, all the big banks, the Vanguards and the, you know, the Black Rocks and all of them. It's the banks. It's the ones who hold the purse strings. So as much as we can blame individuals, just remember, it's all about the money. It's all about the power. And as Shanda used to say all the time, we're just useless eaters. But I wanted to just remind everybody that the Electronic Intifada is one of the best news sites on the web you can go to. Of course, you know, we have our Whitney Webbs and other, you know, some of our sisters and brothers that do great shows that bring great information. But let me see. I think I've got this cut. I don't have the slide deck up, so I don't see what I'm doing. But I'll get the hang of it. But let's give a listen to Nora Barrows-Friedman and Ali Abedina, and they're going to talk to you about how much that state is loved in the world.
The Israeli High Court rejected the appeal by Dr. Hassam Abu Safia against the extension of his administrative detention this week. Last week, as we reported, Dr. Abu Safia, the pediatrician and director of Kamal Adwan Hospital in Beit Lahia.
That's I've got two videos. This is Dr. Abu Safia, and he got denied his parole, just to be clear, and it's heartbreaking because he was the doctor at that hospital. He's been in solitary confinement for 2 years. So this is an update on him. I'm sorry I interrupted. Here we go again. Let's try it again.
Who was abducted by Israeli forces in December 2024 and has been held in detention ever since. was transferred to solitary confinement in Nafha prison last week as the High Court considered his appeal. On Tuesday, June 16th, the court ruled that he will continue to be held without charge or trial under the, quote, unlawful combatants law. Dr. Abu Safia's attorney, Nasser Oda, stated that the Israeli High Court's decision is, quote, in clear contradiction with international law and the Geneva Conventions, which provides special protection for medical personnel during armed conflicts. Dr. Abu Safia remains held in solitary confinement in Nafha prison under harsh detention conditions, deprived of necessary medical treatment, and of the most basic rights guaranteed to him, Oda said. Speaking to the New Arab, Dr. Abu Safia's son, Elias, said that seeing his father appear before the court last week in a visibly weakened condition had left the family heartbroken. This is an extremely difficult feeling, one that cannot be described in words. After seeing the last image of my father showing signs of pain, exhaustion, emaciation, a weakened body, and skin diseases, Elias said. It is certainly a very sad feeling to see your father in such a condition while being unable to protect him or offer him anything beyond appeals and calls for action, he added. Dr. Abu Safia, as we have been reporting, has been subjected to extreme torture and medical neglect by Israeli prison guards since his abduction a year and a half ago. He's one of 14 Palestinian doctors from Gaza currently being jailed by Israel without charge.
Yeah, pretty horrific. And as all of you probably have been following, it's nothing but bad coming out of that state. I don't want to get too, hyperbolic about them, but I don't think there's a limit to what I can say about that. They're monsters. They are monsters. And again, Electronic Intifada is one of the better news sites around on the web. And if you have good news sites, please share them with everybody that is in our chat right now. Now, this show is going to, like I said, it's going to be real short, but I did have a couple of things that I caught this week. And I wanted to point out here, Michigan governor caught on hot mic with Oracle CEO Clay Magoric, I think his name, discussing citizens' opposition to all AI data centers, bragging how she ignores their concerns. We're used to people saying fuck no, and she does it anyway. And there is a video. It's pointless. You can hardly hear it, but I ramped it up and picked it up. And this is a point that I want to make. This is what happens with your politicians. You're going to send them letters. You're going to call them. You're going to go to town meetings, which is the best, or meetings where the politicians will meet you. Zoom meetings are just about worthless. But they're going to take in your concerns. Oh, we'll look into that. Get back to me after this, or you're off topic, or anything else. Don't take those for answers. Force them to hear your words. Follow through. And if they don't do what the constituency asks, it's time to really step up and get them kicked out of office if you can. Stop these projects. I'm preaching to the choir, but again, you know who the big shots are behind all these projects, and it's certainly not in your best interests or mine. As we must be pointing out all the time, remember Rachel Maddow makes $30,000 a day pretending to be a progressive liberal while reading neoliberal corporatist talking points off a teleprompter in between commercials for big oil, big pharma, and the military-industrial complex. And I can't say this enough. We all know this. We know this is why they're paid. This is why channels like Electronic Intifada bring you real news and real journalism and what's going on. These guys are no better than the toilet paper roll where they belong on, and that's all I can say. It's just we have got to step in and do that more. I have a I have a little video here that I added, last minute addition here. And I think you guys might be interested in what's being said here But this is what happened in Saudi Arabia.
The Saudi royal family. These are the real richest people on the planet, with some estimates putting their total wealth over $2 trillion. And the man who controls it all is Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, only coming to the throne in 2017. But to maintain his position at the top and secure his family's future like all of these other families, he would start to purge his political rivals. Infamously, he rounded up 200 billionaires, princes and magnates and imprisoned them at a hotel, all because of their political opinions. And then he held what's now called the Night of Beating, where they were tied up and beaten and forced to liquidate their fortunes. As common in corrupt regimes, the purges were then marketed to the people as an anti-corruption crackdown. And in lots of ways, this is true, as his rivals were very corrupt. But once you hear about what's going on behind closed doors, you'll realize they all are. I mean, it's an open secret that Saudi royals don't have to follow the strict religious laws that they enforce. As revealed by a leaked diplomatic memo describing the scene, consulate officials who attended the royal party found that it was swarming with working girls, as well as there being massive amounts of alcohol. Cocaine and hashish are also common at these parties. Whilst enjoying the finest luxuries in history, the Saudi family have tightened their iron grip on the people, as anyone who criticizes the Saudis is then beaten, imprisoned or worse, especially when anyone points out the Saudis' real lifestyle. The assassination of Jamal is the most infamous example of this. When the journalist was ambushed by 15 men in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, he was then strangled and disposed of. But the assassins were sloppy, and hard evidence of the brutal act surfaced soon after. And this was deliberate, to warn anyone criticizing the Saudi royal family who's really in charge. Despite the CIA releasing intelligence showing the Crown Prince's involvement in the plot, the US could never afford to include them in their sanctions, as the Saudi royal family is just too powerful to stop.
Well, another one of our great allies there. You ever get the feeling we're on the wrong side of everything? Yeah, you all know that. We are on the wrong side, and we're part of the problem. The United States American government is part of the problem, and that's because there's been a coup going on. We're infested with spies and people that are trying to take down our country and control the wealth, which they've been doing, sending billions and billions of dollars to places like Israel and Ukraine, while our infrastructure and our people are suffering in this country. So I once again, preaching to the choir. I had to take this excerpt from Chris Hedges this week, and I think you guys might appreciate where he's coming from, but let me give it a whirl here. Like I said, I don't have a lot, but I have a few things I want to get off my chest tonight, and I hope you're patient. Please be patient with me, and check it out. Here we go.
As human beings, to expand profit. They are determined to reconfigure our societies so workers are immiserated and shorn of all power, while our masters live in unparalleled luxury and opulence. The inevitable breakdown of the climate will make larger and larger zones, especially in the global south, uninhabitable. The waves of climate refugees will become a flood. There will, in response, be no limit to the industrial violence used by the ruling global elites to protect their interests. The genocide in Gaza is an unequivocal message sent from the industrialized nations of the North, which spent billions to sustain Israel's mass slaughter, to a global population that subsists on a few dollars a day. We don't care about humanitarian law. We don't care about human rights. Your lives mean nothing to us. We will use any tool, including genocide, to protect our monopoly on wealth and power. What do we do? How do we resist? Can we halt this descent into madness and mass death? I'm not optimistic. Those who live in the climate fortresses in the global north have a material interest in this project, although we are all headed for extinction. Those in the global north will, I fear, accept a species of totalitarian capitalism in exchange for a degree of security and stability, however temporary. But this will not be true in the global south, where the ecological crisis and the rule of the global capitalist class pose an existential threat. The global south will mount insurgencies and revolutions. It will replicate its rebellions of the past, some of which were successful, and some of which, including the insurgencies I covered in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Algeria, were crushed. Revolution, and the possibility of a world freed from the iron grip of global capitalism, will come from these acts of resistance. Let us hope they prevail. That was...
Yeah, let's hope they prevail, because before you know it, that's the only way around a lot of the stuff that we're enduring right now. I've got a couple of clips coming up that's going to explain a few things that I know we're all picking up on. You guys are so smart. You pick up all this stuff, but I'm here just to reinforce what you've already figured out. We have some senators and congressmen that are trying to link the military, the United States military, with the Israeli military. And the Jonathan Pollard Act down there is kind of a play on words. He was the spy for Israel that stole our nuclear secrets and ended up selling them to other countries as well as giving them to Israel. And I think a lot of that is what was behind the assassination of John F. Kennedy Jr., or not Jr., but John F. Kennedy Sr. Back in the day was Israel had a lot to do with that without making accusations that I can't back up. But I think you guys are pretty well aware of that. Here's the one from Electronic Intifada. This is the second one I've got today, and I'll bring it in and play it for you, and hopefully it's the right one this time.
Governments that keep backing Israel, of course, and the public that increasingly reject it in those countries. What do you make of that?
I think this is one of the most important points, particularly when we talk about the West. European governments and the European Union continue to shield Israel politically, to promote trade and diplomatic relations as Israel continues this genocide in Gaza and these massacres in Lebanon. But their own publics are moving in the opposite direction, which really highlights the crisis of democracy across the so-called West. In Sweden and Spain, 78% view Israel unfavorably. In the Netherlands, 76%, Italy, 75%, and Germany, 73%, more than the UK at 69% and France at 68%. In Spain, Italy, and the Netherlands, large majorities view Israel unfavorably, as I've just noted, and about half the population has a very unfavorable view of Israel. So in some countries, the negative views of Israel are even more intense. And Germany, as I noted, is especially revealing because, of course, Germany famously treats support for Israel as state doctrine, Staatsräson, as they call it, just a requirement of the German state. But Pew found, as I said, that almost 3/4 of Germans view Israel unfavorably, up from 64% last year. And favorable views of Israel among Germans have fallen to just 23%. So all those jackbooted Berlin police beating pro-Palestinian demonstrators is not succeeding in making Israel more popular, apparently. And what we can see is that this fanatical support for Israel from the German state and German elites is not a democratic consensus. It's an elite project imposed against the will of the public. And that's true across the West. In general, Western governments act as if support for Israel is the natural position, but in reality, it is an unpopular minority position, and it's getting more unpopular every day.
So they've got the same thing that Britain's got going on. They have their brown shirts going around beating the hell out of everybody that protests against the state of Israel or protests in favor of Palestine action. Are people protesting against the war. I mean, Great Britain it should be embarrassed at that government as how it's keeping everybody down. I mean, they're arresting people and throwing them in jail for, an indeterminate amount of times. It varies, but for, what we still have some places, freedom of speech. And that's going to come to this country if we allow them to continue to do this with infiltrating our government and passing all these binding agreements with our military and, law enforcement's next. It's, you're going to have IDF soldiers for cops if you don't already, and we just can't let that happen. And I'm hoping that we can do something. Even my old crusty ass get out there and do something. And I'm going to do what I can do when I can do it. Just a shout out to the New York Slimes. It only deserves a place on the toilet paper rack once again because they're screwing up headlines as usual. Nothing new to you guys. It's been that way for a long time. And this Mario Knopfel guy has had a lot of interviews on. I watched him today, and although he seems to be a pretty decent interview, I haven't been watching him that long, but he said he liked Piers Morgan and he wanted him on his show. I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan, and there's no way you can slice it to make me. I think Piers Morgan's the Jerry Springer of this time, and I think he's capitalizing off of that Jerry Springer style of show to make money, and that's what he's paid to do. The merger between the U.S. and Israel has a third piece almost nobody's talking about. While Section 224 fuses the military, Section 622 moves to fuse the intelligence services, which is a big deal. Why would we even want the state of Israel having our intelligence fused together? I mean, we've been watching congressmen put Israeli flags out front of their office in Congress, which I think is treasonous, and there's no way it should be outside their office. And we've got, what's that one dude, Brian Mast, he's walking around in an Israeli military uniform all day long. This is treason. That's unacceptable. You don't do this. They are just taking the Constitution and wiping their butts with it in Congress. And we need to do our best to reinforce that because this is just utter bull crap and it needs to stop. It needs to stop yesterday. And each day that we don't stop, it's going to get a little bit closer. Here's some great news. Breaking our traders forecast Elon Musk to be worth $1 trillion this year, all-time high. Once again, nothing new to you guys. I mean, a trillionaire should be no such thing, ever. But again, we're letting them get away with all this stuff right under our noses while we're falling apart. Here's I don't have this cropped particularly but Gen X Girl has been hitting it out of the park, and here's a little video she made the other day about these sections that Netanyahu probably sent them in to have our Congress, who is paid off by J Street and AIPAC, do for the state of Israel. Tom Cotton, he should be deported or put in prison. Marlon Sutzman, cheap whore. Abe Hamadia, another cheap whore. Mike Rogers. Adam Smith, Washington State. What a disgrace. What a disgrace to our state. This guy, terrible. Ronnie Jackson, Don Davis, Kristen Gillibrand. No surprise there. She was in the video at the beginning of the show, shaking hands with her daddy, BB. All these guys, treason, I tell you. Treason. Unbelievable. Kill the Bills, the whole bloody Israel affair. We're living through that right now. This shit's got to end, guys. Can't keep happening. Anyway, I called this number and I got the main switchboard. You're better off to call your local state congressional representatives and senators. There's old Adam Smith. He's been in Congress too damn long, and he's been working for Israel, in my opinion, for the whole time he's been in there. Terrible, terrible, terrible stain on our state of Washington. Once again, here's another breakdown. All of them needs to be stopped. It just shows you how they're infiltrating our government. Shout out to Gen X Girl once again, bringing the receipts. I think Wally Rashid or somebody, maybe you guys know in chat, is doing a vote log, which shows, I will bring it, vote, just Google vote, don't Google, or search vote log, And it tells you what your congressional reps and senators have voted for, whether it's pro-Israel or not. And most of these guys have voted pro-Israel 90% of the time, from what I can tell. It's sickening. It's sickening. Their oath is to defend the Constitution when they take office. They're not. They're infiltrating our government, and they're selling us out cheaply to a state, a genocidal regime. I can say that, can I? From the state of Israel. Now, this is from today, and this is good old Danny Dannon, one of the biggest mouthpiece assholes at the UN today, trying to shout down one of the UN people who really insulting way. But she stood up to him and just let him know how she felt, and I feel the same way. I would be the same way. I would hope I'd be the same way as this lady. She did a great job.
You caved to the pressure. You caved to the Secretary General's obsession with targeting Israel.
I'm sorry, but I have to make a point. I have to make a point of order.
No, you will be quiet because
this is
I'm
what the
speaking
chair
now.
should be doing.
You spoke,
I make
now
a
I
point of
speak.
order. They should
No,
not be
girl, now I
personal.
speak.
It
Shame
should
on
not
you.
be personal.
You part of the bullying
I have
of
a point
Israel.
of order.
Shame on you.
I have
you can
a
walk
point
out.
of order.
You spoke,
I
now
will
I
not
speak.
walk out.
You walk out.
We have
Shame on
verified
you.
evidence.
You part
This
of
is
this.
a point of
You
order.
part of this obsession.
No personal
You
attack.
part of this obsession.
No personal.
Excuse me. You will allow me to finish my words.
Without
Shameful.
personal attack.
You are part of this shameful behavior.
No
You
personal
are part of
attack.
it.
Sorry.
No personal attack.
We'll come back to you. Let him finish, and then you have the opportunity to speak. Sorry.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Let him finish,
I
and
will
then
speak
everybody
and you
will
will
have
be
the
quiet.
opportunity to speak.
You work for the UN and you will respect the rules of the UN. Respect the rules of the UN.
Ambassador.
You will not allow you to bully us. We are a member state and you work for the UN and you will be quiet now. You will be quiet. Shameful. You and your shameful report.
I'm sorry.
We know why you took this position.
Sorry
we will not
again.
allow you to be
Sorry
part of
again.
this shameful campaign.
Sorry
I will
again.
finish my words.
Ambassador
If you don't want to
and
listen,
Vanessa,
go
sorry.
out.
Sorry.
That's how it's done, everybody. Don't back down, especially with your congressional members when you go to these meetings. Don't let them shut you up. Don't let them shut you down. Make them drag you out of that thing. Do not go alone. Take at least 5 or 10 people with you and let them have it. We've seen examples of that across the country as of late, and it's building. It gives me some hope that we're making some progress. As you know, a couple of years ago, Jose Vega and many people that are working with him were the only ones doing this, and we got to see it. Now I see it more and more and more again. Good on that lady for shutting that bastard down. He, playing the victim card. Shame on you. How dare you, you freak. But yeah, stand up for not only your community, but your country and what is right. And our government is just rotten to the core right now. As I showed the barking seals at the beginning, at the opening of the show, that's what they are. All of those people are sickening, and they should be ashamed. Anyway, we've got a couple here. I'm not going to read this to you. However, from Machiavelli, if justice truly existed, prisons would be filled with politicians, not the poor. Hear, hear. I agree with that, and I know all of you do. They should be, because they're disgraceful. And talking about disgraceful, Mike Huckabee, I don't know what the hell's wrong with this guy, except he's absolutely a front man for Israel now. He's our ambassador to Israel. Not telling you anything new. I'm just reinforcing your position. And yeah, he's just ridiculous. And hopefully he pissed off Trump with his words against the administration and against Trump yesterday. Not that I care that much, but any time we see a bastard like this go, it's great. And the wicked become even worse when they are tolerated. Stop tolerating the wicked. Do not do it. Whatever you guys do, do not tolerate. Speak out. Use your voice while you got it. Now, here's one of the biggest sellouts in Congress right here. Him and Hakeem Jeffries. the leader of the Senate and the minority leader of the House. But this is just Chuck Schumer. This guy makes me want to puke my socks up every time they mention his name. Here we go. Here's Chuckles.
Everyone who bought Trump's book, The Art of the Deal,
listen to this.
Ask him for a refund, because what Trump has done in Iran is the art of the disaster. The U.S. is worse off because of Trump's incompetence, his ego, his inability to listen to facts. Iran took Trump to the cleaners with this so-called understanding.
No, he didn't.
Are my colleagues on the other side of the aisle prepared to send Iran $300 billion when economic needs are so severe here at home? But Trump, that's what Trump wants them to do. Now, back in 2015, Trump said that America's deal with Iran will go down as one of the most incompetent ever made. The U.S. lost on virtually every point. We just don't win anymore. Trump is eating these words on a silver platter served up by Iran. Again.
Says the political opportunist that was just kissing Israel's ass recently in another speech in front of AIPAC. That guy's the biggest hypocrite around. And frankly, he's a detriment. Not that we're going to vote our way out of it, but if the Democrats really want to win or get the ball back, they got to get rid of him and Hakeem Jeffries. That's not advice. That's just an observation, because the party is dead. They're just one side of the two-headed coin in the duopoly that's destroying our country and allowing the Israeli spies to come in and take over our government. Thomas Massey, I've got one or two here. This is he exposes the Zionist capture of Washington, what I've been talking about, which is important. Everybody should be on this, as well as other topics. There's just so many, it's hard to keep up with. But if you have the juice, do it.
But is the IDF going to get paid by the United States government benefits? I heard that was going to happen.
I've heard that we'd have some kind of reciprocal or some kind of agreement. I think it's bad to commingle our soldiers, our technology, our retirement plans, our supply chains, our intelligence. I think that's a bad idea for the United States. I mean, if you're the most powerful country in the world, why would you adopt a junior partner with less than 10 million people and lots of liabilities? Yeah. Nothing but getting us into wars.
Good point. Less than 10 million people in Israel. We're a country of 335 million people, and we're bending the knee to Israel on everything. We're shedding blood for Israel. You know, I mean, give me a break. What the hell's wrong with these fools?
Anyways, a lot of people fell for it. They didn't know what artificial intelligence is. That might be the name of the super PAC. Made by artificial intelligence. They had a disclaimer, but nobody reads the disclaimer. And so, anyways, that was all directed at me. And Phil knows this. I've not been a shrinking violet on this issue, even before I lost my election. I exposed how
you didn't lose it.
AIPAC
You're
has
rigged
a handler
out
for every member of Congress, except for me and Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's not here any longer either. But we joked that she jumped out of the plane and I rode it to the ground.
And 9/11, our allies, the Saudis here.
But even before that, Walter B. Jones Jr. and I fought to get 28 pages of the 9/11 report released. They just redacted 28 straight pages. They didn't put the black marks on it. They just left them blank. And we were able to go to the SCIF and read those 28 pages. And the reason they kept them, by the way, we got them released under Obama. And there's still a few redactions to limit the embarrassment. But the reason they kept those pages out of the report was to protect relationships with Saudi Arabia.
Of course.
Because it wasn't just, most of the hijackers were Saudi Arabian. What they didn't report is the Saudi Arabian government helped, and Saudi Arabian spies helped in the United States, helped those hijackers, like officials of the government. And they were trying to keep that secret so that there could be no lawsuits toward Saudi Arabia. And then they even passed a certain executive order so that they couldn't even sue Saudi Arabia, the 9/11 victims, even though it was the government that was complicit. Anyways, I've lived through that and got those pages released too. People forget about that.
Yeah, he got them released, but have you seen them on MS Now or CNN or ABC? Certainly not going to see them on Fox or now the, Israeli propaganda hub owned by the Ellison, CBS. By the way, Paramount, Skydance, CBS, CNN, forget it. HBO, forget it. They're all, more entrenched propaganda than we already had, and it was already overflowing social conditioning since we were born. So, sorry guys, don't patronize any of that stuff. Independent media all the way, and find the best ones and share it around. I know that Jax has shared some around recently too that are really good. So you're in good company. And here's the last one from Massey.
Say this: I've been here long enough to know they cover stuff up. And oftentimes it's a global conspiracy to. I don't mean conspiracy theory. I mean conspiracy. When I got the Epstein files released, it caused the prince to lose his title, caused the ambassador from Britain to the United States to be canned. It caused the former prime minister of Norway to get arrested. It caused the minister of culture in France, former minister of culture, and a bunch of CEOs and the head of the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, well, they didn't arrest all of them, or nearly as many as they should. So we still need to have those Epstein files released, and it needs to be front page on every newspaper and the tongues of all these sold out pieces of shit Western media outlets that are just about worthless, but that's never going to happen. The United States is not a democracy. It's a dictatorship of capital where the entire government and both parties exist to serve capital, not people. Every law written, every budget passed, and every data center approved benefits the rich, and only a revolution can change this. I happen to agree with that, and I've got, for the boomers here, Chet Huntley and David Brinkley back in the day, 6 to 6:30, half-hour news show, actually reporting news. And then locally, that was Richard Ross and I can't remember the other guy's name. No, it wasn't Tom McCall. Ivan Smith, that's right. So anybody from Oregon can appreciate that. For sure, I hope. This is, we've heard how mediocre some of our representatives are, or mid, or even worse. But this is Brian Donald speaks about the importance of education in front of a misspelled sign. I do not think this is AI. But anyway, here you go.
Of the United States. Our kids have to be prepared to hit the ground running on day one. And being able to master reading is at the core of that. Our state will refocus our efforts into that. We have seen what's occurred in the state of Mississippi. They call it the Mississippi Miracle. But when it comes to ed reform, Florida has led the way over the last 30 years. And we're going to continue to lead the way into the future. God bless you, and thank you all.
You're not going to lead the way with that kind of shit. By the way, if anybody hasn't noticed, teachers are quitting left and right. They can't handle it anymore. They're getting lumped on more and more and more, just like our nurses and other people who are in the service sector. They're getting their ass kicked, and they're saying, what the hell? I work 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. I can't afford my rent. I can't buy a home. I can't afford gas. I can't afford groceries. But what they can't afford is probably a guillotine. And I would suggest that they start looking at guillotines. We need, since car dealerships are closing right and left. Maybe they should open up guillotine dealerships. Would that make an impression on people? Or is that, something, just some nostalgia piece for a conversation piece in your living room? Wink, wink. Anyway, this is what I'd like to see at all Democrat meetings happen. I hope you enjoy this as much as I did.
Welcome, everyone, to DemFest, where we celebrate the blue of the Democratic Party that is the same as the blue for Israel. The Democratic Party started the genocide in Gaza under Biden and has continued. I'm sure you do. And we have some actual Zionists on the stage today. Raise your hand if you support Israel. Let me see those genociding hands. Let's go. Israel is still killing kids. Good morning. Israel is still killing kids.
I appreciate
Good morning. Get your hands off me.
Doesn't skip a beat. Get your hands off me. She did a good job. But no, that's, how soon we forget. Biden, he was all for, supporting sending bombs and white phosphorus and all that good stuff to Israel, which is a war crime. And again, the Democrats have as much blood representatives on their hands as anybody, and I would be embarrassed. I found this one. I ran across this one the other day, and boy, did I call it or what. This is not what he said, but I'm saying it for him, and he did call it, and I'm sure you all agree. I really like this meme. It was quite good. I know Sister Shanda would love that one too. Very good meme. Very, very good meme. We have Matrix Bot. Threw this up here. Just remember, it took Congress 5 months to agree for $600 stimulus checks for Americans and 8 hours to send $13.6 billion to another country and give themselves a pay raise of 21%. Isn't it funny how that works, everybody? Isn't it funny? I mean, the country is falling effing apart, and we're still sending billions of dollars to not only Israel, Ukraine, and other countries. For what reasons, we don't know in some of these other countries, but I'm sure it has something to do with the WAR word. It's always about war, because it's not necessarily having the war, it's the reconstruction that all the oligarchs make by rebuilding after we blow everybody's shit up. And that's exactly what's going to happen in these war fronts around the world, because it's not the United States oligarchy, it's the world oligarchy, and we're just pawns, and you damn well know it. And it's just a damn shame, but anyway, here we are. This is what I really think of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party buzzing with new life. And believe me, I was with that party for 40 years too long, and the news is just rich people paying rich people to tell poor people to blame each other, which they are doing on the regular. Blame each other for what's going on so you have somebody to scapegoat your anger with. Guys, I'm preaching to the choir. Maybe that's what I should name the new show, is Preaching to the Choir with Oz and Special Lady. I mean, that's what we're looking at. Just a brief shot. I don't know if you can read it, but the bottom line here is how much money that we end up paying for these damn wars. And this is set for today. The American Revolution started at $3 billion, and that's adjusted. 50,000 casualties, and now let me see. World War II, that was 400,000 casualties, 405,000, and now we're down to the current war in Iran. And I'm calling bullshit on 15 casualties. 62 billion is the estimate. I would say that's probably 1/4 of what it actually is and what it's going to be, because I know they're not factoring in the cost of everything that's been destroyed. It's just the cost of deploying all this shit, which, I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong because, it's just me. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is John Kerry. You heard him. John Kerry at the This is old. He talked about this a long time ago. I'll let you hear it again. Just hear it from his shrinkled ass lips.
And I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing. And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue. It's really hard to govern today. You can't, there's the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact.
The propaganda networks, asshole.
Been eviscerated to a certain degree. And people go, and people self-select where they go for their news or for their information. And then you just get into a vicious cycle. So it's really, really hard, much harder to build consensus today than at any time in the 45, 50 years I've been involved in this. And there's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities in order to guarantee that you're going to have some accountability on facts, et cetera. But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and, has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So what we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hopefully having, winning enough votes that you're free to be able to implement change. Now, obviously, there are some people in our country who are prepared to implement change in other ways. And
so
that's
you're
really
questioning
dangerous.
really if democracy can...
Okay. This asshole... Censorship is the one thing he's talking about right there. The other thing is, when he says building consensus, he can fuck all the way off. And I mean fuck all the way off. Because what he's saying is manufacturing consensus. Manufacturing consent. That's what he's talking about. But they just can't stand it that their own corporate media doesn't have any pull. It's dying on the vine, legacy media. And they want that control back. They want to control us. They want to control our minds and our actions, our responses. They want to mold us. Don't let these bureaucrats like that piece of shit, who actually was a presidential candidate at one time, but he's a bazillionaire like the rest of them. What was it? It's ketchup and pickles and shit. This guy's made his millions on, and he's preaching to us about wanting to censor us and manufacture consent. Well, I think the younger generations and some of us boomers, which I'm going to get into next because I've got an axe to grind with generations behind us, aren't buying their bullshit. And I know you guys don't either, and that's why we love you. Did you know, I didn't know till last year, but I never got into it. There are two parts of the boomer generation. There's the old boomers, and then there's the boomers they call the Jones generation. Now, I'm going to play this really quick, and it's not going to be long, but it gives a brief explanation of what that is.
Woodstock, Vietnam, Beatlemania, pensions, JFK, affordable housing. These are all things associated with the baby boomers. But what many people might be surprised to hear is that all of these things I just mentioned happened before half of this generation were even teenagers. You see, the boomer generation spans an 18-year period, but the moments that shaped the boomer stereotype were mostly experienced by the first half of that generation. The second half was too young to participate, but at the same time, too old to be part of the MTV generation. They are commonly called Generation Jones. In Generation Jones experienced a far different America. Gas lines, Watergate, the Brady Bunch, corporate culture, yuppies, economic collapse. And in this video, I want to tell the story of America's forgotten generation, the boomers who never really fit into the boomer identity. And it all starts with understanding what makes them different from the boomers. Chapter 1, Too Young for the Revolution.
Okay. why did you bring that, Oz? I brought that because boomers are getting painted with a goddamn broad brush. And I'm tired of it because I don't see generations behind me with pitchforks and torches marching on Washington, D.C. yet. But they're going to. And I support them 100%. But I'm a boomer. I'm going to be 67. And I am so with you guys and so many other people who want to save our country and have a better quality of life for everybody. So there are so many people out there that are trying to find somebody to blame. Younger generations are blaming the boomers. I'll give you that. The old white boomer guys and gals have wrecked us to the point of beyond. But when they start attacking me, I'm starting to get a little bit tired of it because there's no self-reflection there that I can see. And I'm sure this is a minority of people. I don't want to be a hypocrite and paint with a broad brush backwards. But I'm sure a lot of you have noticed boomer's bad, boomer did this, boomer did that. Boomer gets all the fucking wealth. Well, boomers don't get all the wealth. Our good friend Natalie had to cancel her damn insurance because she couldn't afford it anymore. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Natalie, but it's true. You posted it publicly. A lot of our friends are barely getting by on their pensions and their Social Security. We're not doing so great. But the rich ones, it's always about the poor versus the rich. The poor versus the rich. Don't start picking out demographics, young ones being dumb or stupid, or old ones being pigs at the trough. My father's generation got the Social Security system built. For whatever the flaws are in the Social Security, it was meant to be a good thing. That's a social safety net. It's not an entitlement. We've been paying to it for years, and our corrupt government has been pulling that money out and sending it to other countries to pay for their infrastructure, their wars, and everything else. Anyway, I digress. I just want you guys to know I'm with you, but take it easy on the boomers, because some of us out there are your biggest supporters, and I'm one of them. So I don't have my slides. Here it comes. I think this is it, but we shall see. If it isn't, I will run to the next one. Here we go.
What happened to us humans? When was the last time you guys were truly happy? Like, actually happy? Like, I just went through some old pictures and I'm like, what the happened? And then I saw, and it was literally COVID. Since COVID?
Yeah, after COVID, everything really went to
Anyone else agree with this?
A lot of people don't care about things anymore like they used to. They don't get excited for things in life. They don't enjoy the same hobbies.
This is Barbara.
They are
Barbara
not
from
finding things to
Homestead
look
Journey,
forward to because
interested.
they feel like, what can I look forward to? Everything is so stressful. There's so much going on. There's so much division in this country. There's so much polarization. There's so much happening, and people are feeling it, you know, from our younger generations to our older generations. It's all over the place.
Oh, you had a midlife crisis? That's cool. I'm a millennial. I didn't get one of those. I have never once experienced a period of stability long enough to interrupt. I watched the Twin Towers fall on a TV that my elementary school teacher wheeled into our classroom. And then that kicked off a 20-year war with the Middle East. And I graduated into the worst economic recession since the Great Depression, the 2008 financial crisis, caused by boomers that spent the 80s and 90s deregulating the banking industry, then veered directly into the wreckage with a degree that we were told we had to get, and student loan debt into a job market that actively was not hiring. And then when the economy did finally start to stabilize, we got hit with a global pandemic, which exposed every crack in the system, from healthcare and housing to employment and mental health. All of it broke at once. And on the other side of that, the housing market became completely unaffordable. And it's not because we were buying avocado toast or iced coffee. It's because the average home price has outpaced wage growth by 300% since the boomers were buying. So they bought homes for like 60 grand and then watched them appreciate to over $500,000. Now they're sitting on half the country's wealth while telling us we just need to work harder. And now, war with Iran and $5 gas. Social Security projected to run out before most of us retire. A system, by the way, that boomers have been drawing from for years and that we've been paying into our whole careers, but will likely never see a dime of. The audacity to look at us and say, your generation just doesn't want to work. We have been working our whole lives. We've been working hard to survive in the economy you built. We've been in crisis the whole time.
Okay. You guys get that. Not fair. We paid into it too, lady. And I get you. But this is a case where she doesn't get who the enemy is. It's the rich against the poor. And I don't know what the hell the logic is there. But yeah, my first house was $42,000. It was a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, manufactured home. That same house right now would be $500,000. My first house was like back in the 1980s. It's not my fault. It's $400,000. It's the rich. It's the hedge funds. It's the capital management companies. It's the Rockefellers. It's the Rothschilds. It's the international banks. They're the ones who are fucking you, lady, not some of the old boomers. Because your generation has quite a few mean, selfish, greedy fuckers cheering on wars and making all kinds of money because they're evil bastards. Just like my generation. So let's not play that game. I think I made my point. Is it fair, guys? Just one little added thing here. Nobody's perfect, but boomers built this. Remember that.
22 years I've been installing water heaters. Your average new water heater lasts about 7 to 10 years. I've replaced a lot multiple times. This old girl was made in 1956. Installed 3/12/56. How do we get back to quality like this in our way of life?
This is because of a business model called planned obsolescence, and what it does is manufacturers intentionally design products to break or become outdated or lose functionality after a set period of time. Now, according to a study that was done by the University of Wisconsin, planned obsolescence actually costs Americans over $1,000 every year in extra costs because these companies are designing their products to break. The big question is it legal? And again, the answer is yes. In America, it is legal to do this scam.
Yeah, and they've been scamming us forever. And when they started making plastics in a big way, the plastic I was used to when I was young was called Bakelite. And it was a very hard plastic, and it would last for actually ever. They made it appliances and everything else, but this damn plastic they started using, I would say in the 70s, it just rots. It dries out, cracks, breaks, and falls apart. Anyway, the boomers actually did that beginning, but it was the rich. And Joan Bodessa says, I don't blame generations. It's all the elite that screw us all generations, you know. Yeah, I agree. Non-boomer here, Golden Monarch. Hey, Golden, what's going on? And it's good to see the fam together. Yeah, I'm glad you're not a boomer. Getting old isn't for pussies either, let me tell you. I got more aches and pains now than I ever did. I'm falling apart. What a drag. This is Nicole Says, and I have a lot of respect for this young lady because she is very on top of everything going around, and she doesn't have any pretenses. She's not out there to show off her lady parts and get clicks or anything else. She's just with it. Such respect. Anyway, check her out here. I think she's coming. Damn, I can't hear it. Shit. Oops. Oh well. Next. Let me try it on the other system. Maybe it's just this one. Nope, doesn't work. I hope I didn't lose my audio. Breaking news. United Health Group, just so you know. Breaking news, this is a couple days ago. Posted a 6.2 billion in profits last quarter, while last quarter, 4 quarters in a year, 6.2 billion. Denying 32% of all prior authorization claims. That's, I'm trying to get a prior authorization for an MRI on my back. They made $6.2 billion. They denied 1 out of every 3 medical requests. You paid your premium. They denied your claim. They kept your money. This is legal. This is normal. This is American healthcare. And I know that you guys have experienced something very similar, because I'm with Aetna, and I got Aetna at the, in December you can change your medical. Well, I didn't have a choice. Aetna was the only one offering dental, and before I lose all my teeth and be gumming the shows, I had to go with them. So I got that. But anyway, these medical insurance scam companies are going to continue to rip us off until we do something about it. So, my country, not my country. Does everybody see that? My country, for good or bad, but not my country. And I'm starting to feel like cattle up there, because Palantir's going to start putting those earrings in our heads if we're not careful. So you might want to keep that in mind going forward. Bread and circuses, I'm not going to play this again. We had a joke show on the White House lawn. What was it last weekend? That only cost you $6 million to set up that. That was just to set up the mess. But, again, bread and circuses is stale, and the circus is still boring. I agree. And I don't want to take it away from a lot of the people there, but kudos to those who wouldn't perform at that thing. And they say, oh, Joe Biden, he had all the drag queens out there. Well, yeah, you don't want to make that the moniker of everything. And remember, it's all about bread and circuses. And what happened? The fall of Rome happened while they were enjoying their bread and circuses, lest we forget. They took down the Donald Trump, John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for Performing Arts, and here was a suggestion to replace it with the Epstein files. I really agree with that. I did want to point out that there was an audience out there waiting for them to take down the Donald J. Trump sign off the top of that. I think that was one of the first most tasteless things he did, capitalizing on a memorial. You're still alive, something that's dedicated to probably one of our last good, decent, quality presidents. I'm sure he wasn't perfect in many ways, but he's the last one I can remember that was actually presidential for sure. And people say, well, what about Jimmy Carter? Well, yeah, not so much. Jimmy was Jimmy. Anyway, release the Epstein files. I hope you guys agree. Did I lose everybody here? Let me check. I'm sorry, I'm not getting the roll. Okay, there it is. There it is. Sorry, guys. I lost you for a minute. Almost done, guys. Got a few more. Here's a great idea. Not so much, but it's in tune with what we got going on. Let me go back here. What do you think about this ticket for the next election cycle? Harris, Trump, Wall Street, war, and genocide. I think that fits the bill perfectly. Not really. But here's one of the biggest dangerous things that people don't pay attention to enough is private equity. Private equity is what's destroying our infrastructure too, our schools, our education system, and our retirement homes. My sister is in a government supplemented apartment building, and she has to pay $1,200 a month for her rent. But The government subsidizes that. It's a little tiny apartment. It doesn't even have a stove in it. She's got to use like a microwave and a hot plate. But that's private equity, and the place is falling apart. But at least she's got a roof over her head and a bathroom and a place to sleep. That's sad. Those who give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety. And that was Ben Franklin. You know, I mean, for whatever that's worth these days, Ben was right, or at least the interpretation. Now, this has got to really stick in your craw. This was the one about the toddler getting shot for stealing diapers. There was more to this story, but the person that posted this, they said the following police killing of a baby over some diapers. There were protests at the doors of Walmart, and an army of U.S. police gassed demonstrators with tear gas, the land of the free, where they shoot babies dead because they're poor. Pretty horrible. I did have to point out that they weren't demonstrators. They were furious human beings, furious, demanding this madness end. Every single day we move closer to the final straw, that one that breaks the camel's back. And now more of our babies are the victims of the soulless society, sacrificed to corruption, greed, and indifference. Make no mistake, every family is under assault, whether they realize it yet or not. The damage is not isolated. It's everywhere, and it's coming for all of us. And I think you guys, as sharp as you are on everything, know that. And yeah, this poor little baby was shot to death at this deal. And from what I understand, I guess capital is more important than a child's life these days. Sickening, I should say. And then there's this one, which is horrible too. You guys caught that this week, Justice for Jameson. And I'm not going to play the video. The guy's wearing a Knicks jersey. The dog's wearing family member's wearing a Knicks jersey, and he comes out the door and he starts moving quickly towards an officer. And instead of using the taser or pepper spray or whatever, at least one officer or more shot him to death. Family dog. And I can't tell you how horrible that is on us as pet owners to have an armed militia, an armed force of militarized cops come in and shoot your dog. It's even worse. I've seen it happen on people's property where the gate's been shut and they've shot the dogs through the gate. But anyway, this nurse is absolutely devastated, and fortunately she's gotten some GoFundMe money to help her, I hope, sue the shit out of these cops and make an example of them. It doesn't bring the dog back, but once again, our society's sick, everybody, and we've got to do something about it sooner than later. And here's the police notices that they put up, and you can't see it here. I'm going to try and move it up so you can see. It's got 785,000 views, and it's got, come on. It won't move. It's only got 68 hearts, which it doesn't even deserve one heart. Probably a mistake. Let me see. This is another one with the Walmart thing. You know, I mean, protect that capital, everybody. And I know you've heard about it all week. I spent a lot of time on it, but out of respect, I wanted to spend some more time on it tonight before I get off my soapbox. Now, this one right here is what your politicians do. This is exactly what your politicians do when you get a selfie. I have never, ever, that I'm aware of in memory, wanted to or had my picture taken with any politician, whether I agreed with them or not. But this one made me want to puke because this gal was trying to express herself, free speech, and this is what happened. So the guy didn't want her to be able to express, free Palestine, putting up the flag at her graduation. Yet he still posed with her for a damn picture. That's what your politicians do. You tell them, no, I don't want to do this. You don't want them to do this. Oh, I'll check it out, and I hear what you're saying, and I'll do my best to fulfill your wishes. And you take a selfie with them, and then they walk off and tell you to fuck off under their breath. That's what they do. This is the example of the president of Seattle University prevented a student from raising the Palestinian flag during the university graduation ceremony. Let them have their free speech. Don't stop them. I don't care what your damn rules are. They've got 15 seconds up there to make an impression on what they feel is the right thing to do. Let them do it. But your politicians are no better than this guy. It's all cosplay. Don't forget it. You guys step up to the plate. Stick up for your rights. Stick up for your constitutional rights every chance you get. And I find that to be one of the most courageous things that you can do. Now, our executive producer, Linda, had to throw something in because the world's driving her a little nuts these days. And she just fired up some artwork here. She loves horses. And because people make me want to chew on power lines. So she put that in there. And she's helping us with the new show concept. And it's so much appreciated because Linda's still devastated from our loss of our sister Shanda. And Linda lost one of her pets recently last year I think, and she's still grieving for that. But it's so nice to have that kind of support from Linda. I just want to publicly say thank you, Linda, and we're looking forward to anything that you want to bring and say to our friends and family here. So much appreciated. I'm going to lighten it up going out the door here. And this is so true. When I'm in danger of taking life too seriously, I look at my dogs, and I always have. And I still look at Dharma, have Missy here still, and she's cute as a bug's ear. And, I just really appreciate that. Somebody explain why the rule is if you can't make rent, cut out the streaming apps, lattes, and avocado toast. But it's never if you can't afford your workers a living wage, cut out the mega yachts, rockets, and spaceships. Yeah, Elon. Yeah, Jeffrey. Yeah. Anyway, got a new segment here. I hope it carries over to the new show. It's called Brain Damage. Does that sign look familiar at all? it's Hollywood. It used to be Hollywood Go Fuck Themselves. Well, they fucked themselves. And here's one of Jerry Seinfeld's groupies. I thought this was worth bringing. You guys can hear this.
So Jerry Seinfeld, Palestine doesn't exist. You are that much of an ignorant motherfucker to not even know the history of that region. But aside from that, to say Palestine does not exist makes you literally one of the most rancid fucking people out there. And as the founder of the People's Union USA, the father of the economic blackout, I'm fucking adding you, Jerry Seinfeld, and your show to the blackout list. You love fame and notoriety. Well, you, my friend, have just stepped in it, fucker. What a rancid piece of shit you are. And the fact that you come from the same neighborhood as I do in Queens, you are a fucking disgrace to our amazing neighborhood. Fuck you, Seinfeld. So
He's a man after my own heart. I did, before I even knew it, I did have a feeling he was from New York, and that accent. Elsewhere in Hollywood news, Gwyneth Paltrow, or should we say Gwenocide, Gwenocide's been nominated for the Humanitarian of the Year award. Just kidding. Pretty sad. Jon Stewart actually is redeeming himself in my eyes somewhat. I'm called anti-Semitic because I'm against Israel's treatment of Palestinians. Jon Stewart. Well, John, I certainly hope you continue to not bootlick anybody, and appreciate the work for the firefighters and the responders in New York, but you kind of stepped in it there for a while, and you don't have to because you're like a manillionaire. You don't need to do that shit. But thank you for stepping up there, and I hope that's in fact true. And speak of the devil, there he is. Jerry the asshole himself. I shouldn't even give him any playtime on here, and I'm sorry, folks, that I brought that. But this is from last year. I want you to remember that not all of Hollywood is horrible, cowardly fuckers. Some of them are on the right side of history, and this is just a clip of a few of those that you may or may not recognize, but I salute them and thank them. This is from last year, 2025, but again, I want to thank them for stepping up to the plate, and I hope they can encourage their counterparts in Hollywood to stop being cowardly fucks and step up to the plate too.
Together for Palestine.
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 Palestine. Palestine.
Together for Palestine.
We have to tell the truth on behalf of the people of Palestine.
It's always been the artist's role in society to speak out, to risk speaking truth to power.
Together.
We know that the leaders of this country are complicit in the mass murder of civilians in Gaza and the West Bank.
Palestine के लिए एक साथ.
Juntos por Palestina.
لكيلا أرسون Palestine.
हम फलस्तीन के लिए एक साथ.
أسي Palestine the Nalhan.
In English on Palestine. Together for Palestine.
It's important to speak out now, not when this is over. Right now, while it's happening.
For Palestine.
Pressurize the government. Lend your support to those who are peacefully campaigning
for Palestine.
Call for a ceasefire. Stop the killing.
Y vamos a estar con ellos hasta que Palestina sea libre.
So, when our new show hits, if we have this brain damage section in there, remember, I'm not beating the shit out of everybody at Hollywood because there are still human beings left there. Fancy that. Who knew? And I want to close out with this last slide here, and then I want to have a quick chat with you guys. I'll let you get the hell out of here. Hollywood can still make a good movie. Believe it or not. Shocker! Shocker. They can still make a good movie. At least I thought it was really good, and I would recommend it. It's MGM. It's not Paramount, so I'm not being a total hypocrite. But Hail Mary is worth the time to watch. And Gosling does a really good job in that. And I thought the message was great. So if you're looking to watch an actual movie, and hopefully it's not sponsored by the terrorist state or anybody else that we have problems with, beyond problems, Hail Mary. Highly recommend it. And it's refreshing because I haven't seen a decent movie in a very long time. With that, I'm telling you, I am actually, a lot of people like NCIS and that mindless The Rookie with Nathan Fillion and that kind of stuff. I've made up my mind to where I'm going to avoid watching any propaganda or any militarism that I possibly can anymore. I'm not going to let it infect my mind. I might hedge a little bit on science fiction, but this real adaptation crap, this propaganda, I'm not going to watch it anymore. I will never subscribe to Paramount, CBS, CNN, or any of their holdings knowingly again in my lifetime. That part of my life is ruined, and when you're getting old and there's not a lot you can do, yeah, Pasta. Thanks, Pasta, for throwing that up there. Somebody needs to tell me how to turn off the super chats, and that brings to mind, Disclosure Day. Spielberg needs to retire. That being in mind, guys, check your Patreons. My Patreon is active. I don't know if Shanda's Patreon's been turned off for Beauty and the Boomer, but she told me to remind you to check your Patreons. And I hope Al is able to pull whatever money he can out of that and close it. But she told me, seriously, to let you guys know that Patreon is gone with her. It may still be active, and I hope Al's pulling money out for cat food and stuff. But I'm hoping that if you can check the Patreon I have, it's the themed with the lions and stuff. Patreon. If go ahead and pull it out, stop bleeding money into it if you want. But I don't think it's fair for me not to bring content to you guys and still have an active Patreon. It's just not right. But I do appreciate it's helped me cover some of the costs of what I've done, since I've been off. But it's been 26 weeks, and I do appreciate it very much. But what I think I'm going to do is leave that active until everybody bugs out. I still have some of you out there that are donating to it. But what we will do is turn off this. When I figure out how to turn off the super chats here, I will do the Ko-fi QR code. If we're producing content you think you need to, it's worthwhile to throw a couple bucks at. But don't do it, like Shanda and I always said. If you don't have it, don't do it. Times are tough. Just wanted to throw that out there before I forgot. I definitely apologize for not saying that the last show. And again, Pasta's here. I want to thank Pasta for co-hosting with me on Shanda's Memorial Show, and Fiorella for coming in. It was a real tear fest, and thank you guys for all the compliments. I did it the best I could under the circumstances, and it really... it was heartbreaking, but it's something that I will never forget. I'm going to go out with another one from Hindley Street Country Club. They did a great job on this song. These are new, and they're kind enough to let me use them. That's one of the reasons why I use them, and they are one of the top cover bands in the world. Again, July 11th. I'm going to introduce you to my new partner that we're going to do a new show with using the same format or similar format. Do you like the speed in which we go through these stories? Because our friends out there that get in depth on 4 stories really deep, I don't want to try and mimic them. And I don't want to, bring on guests all the time for clicks or anything else. I'm not in this to make a living. I'm in this to release some tension and show you the stories of the week, and to let you take a little bit of a breath while still getting some information, giving you a little entertainment. If we still need to have something to feel good about, some music, some art. A laugh once in a while, even in a time where I feel guilty about laughing about anything. We need that. And I hope it's okay with you guys if we keep that format. And my new partner and I will be dedicating each and every one of these shows to the memory of Shanda and her work over the years, and you guys, our friends and family. So hopefully, barring no health issues, we will see you on the 11th. I'll keep you up to date. It's wonderful to see you all, and thank you all who checked in at the end of the show. Kelly, like I said, give me a shout when you have time. And again, thank you everybody for your support. Big numbers in here tonight for this little show. Oz, old Oz coming out here. But I promise we're going to do our best to bring you some good content, have a little fun, and when it gets serious, we're going to be damn serious about it and supporting each other. I've got your back, and I always have, I hope, and I love you guys. Have a great evening, and we're out of here. This is a short one-off, and good night, everybody.
Where do we go from here now that all of the children are growing up? And how do we spend our lives if there's no one to lend us a hand? I don't want to live it no more. I don't want to stay. Ain't gonna spend the rest of my life quietly fading away. Games people play, you take it or you leave it. Things that they say aren't right. If I promise you the moon and the stars, would you believe it? Games people play in the middle of the night. Where do we go from here now that all of the children have grown up? And how do we spend our time knowing nobody gives us a damn?